time. It's time. It's time. It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy. Yeah. 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 It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time.
How the fuck you got me up this damn early, Jason?
It's time.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Oh, hell yeah!
Oh, hell yes, indeed. We got a good one for you tonight. Big champs or chumps, indeed, and a big week to talk about. I apologize. I know some of our fans missed us last night, but that's because we were getting that turkey prep for our Thanksgiving special. You won't want to miss that on Turkey Day. So we're excited to bring that to you as well. Let's get the introduction started. Welcome to the studio, Ned. You got Flandered Macaronis.
I guess that's me. So, yes, my name is Ned. You got Flandered Macaronis. You can find me on Twitter at You Got Flandered. And you can also find me on our TSS Fantasy account. And speaking of our TSS Fantasy account, please, it's the holiday season, man. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Hanukkah's rolling up on us real quick. So is Christmas. So what better thing to do than to buy your fantasy football fan a t-shirt from his favorite or her favorite TSS Fantasy Football podcast. Just go to tssfantasy.com, click on the link that says merchandise, and you can buy one of our hats, our mugs, our beanies, our t-shirts, anything that we have on there. It is welcome for you and yours can enjoy it thoroughly, and it's a great conversation piece.
Nick, it's week 12. We should have this promo down already. We're all over the place still.
I like spontaneity, my friend.
All right, let's also welcome to the studio our paid professional, of course, Dr. Jeffrey Miller. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Gentlemen, it's good to be here with you. Commissioner, I want to congratulate you. Last week, kind of tongue-in-cheek, I said congratulations on the Dolphins' 2-game winning streak. But this week, this is a legit winning streak. So congratulations to you. And tonight, coming up on the house call, I've got a bone to pick with one of our radio competitors who is stealing my material.
Ooh, how humorous indeed. And when it comes to the Dolphins, as Tony says, it feels good indeed. All right, so don't forget, visit us, tssfantasy.com. Get it all. Well, we don't have the rankings up yet. My apologies. I'm a little late on that. Normally, I have it done by tonight. So tomorrow, we'll have all your Week 12 updated rankings. Don't forget to visit us there. Also, as Nick mentioned earlier, our merchandise store, all of our great stuff is there for you to pick out. Like he said, don't be a Grinch. Don't forget our social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. We got it. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time, but I'm doing it. Also, Belly Up Sports Podcast Network, all of our great podcasts from racing to wrestling. We got it all for you. Also, don't forget now on Sundays, Wake Up Belly Up. Start with us from 8 to 9 a.m. Make us part of your morning commute. We are the fantasy show of the people. Speaking of that, it's time for Dr. Miller's house call.
He's the one that calls Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that makes you feel alright. He's the one that calls Dr. Feelgood. He's gonna be your Frankenstein. I've got one.
All right, let's get started by talking a little bit about your Dolphins and remind me who they beat this past weekend.
It was the Jets suck.
So we'll start with the Jets and Michael Carter. He sustained a mild high ankle sprain against Miami. Now, mild's good news to hear, right? But it's the high ankle. The high ankle anatomy is that it's the syndesmotic ligament connecting the two lower leg bones. So this is not the ankle on the outside or the inside, but rather the ligaments connecting those two lower leg bones. And even though it's mild, this is still going to put him out 2 to 4 weeks.
Well, that's big news if you're Ty Johnson owners, although I don't know how many of you are out there. So somebody to pick up on the waiver wire indeed. Also, don't forget about Tim and Coleman's involvement as well. So something to think about this week for the waiver wire, which we'll talk about later. All right, who else you got, Doc?
So let's go to the Bears. They've got a short week coming up. And as of yesterday, there was still a little bit of talk about Justin Fields needing further evaluation. But as of this afternoon and this evening, it looks like the Bears are preparing to start Andy Dalton instead of Justin Fields on Thanksgiving. So the good news there is that Justin Fields appears to just have bruised, not broken ribs. But I've said that before, and I'm going to kind of reserve being certain of that until we get a follow-up MRI. But the initial radiographs look good. And at this point, he may be good as a backup, but I do expect that Andy Dalton's going to start. Now, you may be talking about this later on in the show, or perhaps this will come up in another show. Their coach may be in jeopardy. So should that be the case, his primary concern may be starting Justin Fields to win. If that's the quarterback he thinks gives him the best chance of winning.
Yeah, we talked about this late in the summer. We knew earlier in the summer, we knew this was going to be an issue, going forward with Matt Nagy, with Justin Fields and Andy Dalton. Now QB1 is actually QB1. So let's see what, I'm not sure I'd be picking him up this week, but let's see how it plays out. All right, who else we got?
So moving to New Orleans, Adam Trautman, the tight end over there, sustained an MCL sprain, and he's looking like he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So this was a fourth quarter injury, went out, did not return. This is kind of unfortunate for him. This was his best offensive performance of the season. He caught 5 targets, 58 yards, and a touchdown, but Trautman looked like he's going to be shut down until mid to late December.
Yeah, looks like, and I know, Craig, I know you're out there because you played him this week against me. Ha, 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 great job. He got you, but now I got you, so suck on it. All right, who else you got?
So we talk about Aaron Rodgers. And in his words, this is, quote, worse than a turf toe. Now, medically, I'm not really sure where he's going with that. This may be a dislocation if we're talking about worse than a turf toe, which would be worse than a significant sprain of the metatarsophalangeal or MTP joint. But I want to say that Howard Stern took all of my jokes here about Aaron Rodgers. Howard Stern on his show was talking about how it's unlikely that Joe Rogan was giving Aaron Rodgers medical advice on managing his toe injury. So he took my jokes, but that might be for the best because if you recall last week, you told me to stay in my medical lane and not be too funny. So Howard Stern took my jokes. But back to the medical side of it. He got his toe stepped on during the first half of week 11. He's saying, again, it's, quote, a little worse than a turf toe, but he wants to just get to the bye week. So he's going to play through it, get to the bye week, and hope he can, quote, have some healing over that bye week. But again, if it's worse than a turf toe, may have been a dislocation, which doesn't necessarily seem compatible with the mechanism of injury, which was being stepped on. But I'm not certain what else it might be consistent with that description.
Well, that little piggy did not go to market. Okay, who else we got?
Dr. Miller, hold on. Could we say that Karen Rodgers is being totally ridiculous right now?
Oh boy, let's get the snare drum ready. All right, who else we got?
So Jamal Agnew, the Jags wide receiver, moving to the IR, and the word is he's done for the season with this hip injury. So if you saw the video, his leg bent awkwardly when he was being tackled on Sunday. They announced it was a hip injury. Looking at that mechanism, I'm suspecting it may have been a subluxation dislocation. We talked about this in Fitzpatrick a couple of weeks ago. He did walk off the field on his own power. That's good news. To quote Coach Meyer, who at least Coach Meyer for today, maybe not next season, but he says positive news is we're expecting a full recovery. We'll know more as time wears on a little bit. Obviously, we all love that guy. So probably done for the season, definitely move into the IR.
Yeah, so for Chenault, Marvin Jones owners, somebody to look for, maybe an uptick in targets. Maybe even James Robinson sees a little more of the backfield with that. All right, who else you got?
So A.J. Brown has an undisclosed chest injury. Radiographs were negative, which is good news. He's been banged up a lot this season. I'm not sure he's going to end up coming back this week. Not a whole lot to say other than negative radiographs on A.J. Brown.
Yeah, it seems like this year there's a little bit of pussy hurt in A.J. Brown's so far this season. All right, who else we got?
So Ezekiel Elliott's managing a knee injury, and this knee contusion dates back to week 5. He's been dealing with this all season. Left the week 11 loss, but he did return, which is encouraging. There were some initial reports calling this an ankle injury, but it is his knee, according to Elliott. I just want to highlight a little bit of the data coming from his first 5 games to his most recent 5 games. His first 5 games prior to this injury, he was averaging 90 yards a game. The last 5, he's under 50 yards a game. So this contusion is really hobbling him and is affecting his production.
Yeah, something to monitor. And, Tony Pollard, like I said, we've talked about him many times on the show. It looks great when he's in there. So something to monitor as well. Who else you got, Doc?
A little bit of good news for Browns fan. Kareem Hunt is expected to return off the IR to practice. If you recall, he's been out of action since the 4th quarter of week 6. So it'll be good to have him back.
Yeah, Dearness Johnson owners, say bye-bye to that. You have to find something else on the waiver wire. All right, anyone else you got, Doc?
And then we'll do the team of one more troubled coach. Speaking of troubled coaches, Urban Meyer got canned. Nick, how you feel about that? Not Urban Meyer, I'm sorry. Dan Mullen, Gators coaches. Dan Mullen, canned. How do we feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I like Dan Mullen personally, but looking back at his draft classes, his recruiting classes, they weren't footing the bill, and they couldn't put together what he wanted on the field, and as then a result, he got canned.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame. But my other favorite coach got a 10-year extension today. Go Franklin from Penn State.
All right. So once again,
hijack your show with college football talk.
This is not college or Gator talk. So let's.
I had an opportunity to speak, and I took it.
So last player for the house call, Darren Waller, presently day-to-day after missing the win over the Eagles with his ankle or heel injury. Not a whole lot of information about that, but Waller day-to-day.
All right. Well, it's a tough guy. What's that?
Jordan Howard had a knee.
Jordan Howard did have a knee. That I did see that as of late. Say that again, sir.
Yes, 2 knees.
He said he has 2 knees. He's back in the jokes.
He does certainly have 2. One of them has a boo-boo. So we'll see how long he's out for. That was my bad, and it was a late addition. So we'll talk about that later on. All right, how about that? To be fair to Doc. All right, Dr. Miller, we'll get you on out of here. We appreciate you. Check out Doc out later on or next week. He'll be here on the house call for you guys for all your fantasy injury news. All right, so up next, it's Champs or Chumps time. Tonight, we got Mattdaddy bringing it on against Jay. It's Jay the Plug, I guess, as we call it. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Listen, these guys are amazing. They cut wrestling. I couldn't believe what I saw. I'm like, they had no idea how much I've always wanted to be Vince McMahon. So this just played right into my hands, and I absolutely love it. I'm super excited. All right, guys, let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to get it on with Champs or Chumps right after this. Hey, everyone, it's Commissioner Cooper from TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people, and our network, the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network, is no different. So we teamed up with our friends from Manscaped to give back to the people for an exciting holiday giveaway. We want you to look and feel smooth this holiday season. So we're giving away the Manscaped 4.0 Performance Package. And all you have to do is go to our Facebook page at Belly Up Sports, give us a like, and that well-deserved 5-star review, and you're entered to win. It's as simple as Grandma's holiday pie, and who knows what holiday magic awaits once those ornaments are looking shiny and new again. So what are you waiting for? Give us a like, that well-deserved 5-star review, and you could be belly up all holiday season. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we have a special Champs and Chumps tonight. Let's first welcome in one of our challengers, Mattdaddy. Welcome to the studio.
Save the best for last.
Oh, hey, not yet. Cut it up. Commish, Flanders, this is amazing. TSS Fantasy is like an orgasm. If I had a cigarette, I'd smoke it. I'm pumped to be here. This is the show of shows on Tuesday night, and we got the plug. Yes, yes, yes. Woo!
This could not get any more exciting, and let's welcome the other challenger, Jay with the plug. What's up? Welcome to the studio.
What's happening, gentlemen? Matthew, nice to see you.
Daddy.
Flanders, Commissioner, it's always a pleasure. Excuse me, I'm a little thirsty. Oh, whatever.
Them rings.
Yup.
Ooh,
Championships, boys. Championships.
bling,
Good.
bling.
Yeah.
Bringing the bling tonight. It's going to get exciting in here. Let's get things started with Champs or Chumps. All right, so you know the game, you know the time. I got some guys we're going to bring up. We're going to see if you can make the case for a champ or a chump. And in round one, we have Dak Prescott. That's going to be our first guy. Mattdaddy, you're up first. Let's hear your case to make Dak a champ.
Pow, 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 Cowboys. Y'all. Get on board, guys. This is the hottest train going. 7-3, the Cowboys. Woo! Before I get to Dak, Jay, man. You see Dak over there, Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys. I see that height. I see that size. We'd make you our #1 draft pick, Jay. How about you join this Cowboy Nation, baby?
I'd rather die.
Come on. Let's talk Dak for a minute, though. I don't want you to die, Jay, because I love this back and forth we have. It's just two peas in a pie. We're like the mega powers over here. Hulk and Macho, Jay and Mattdaddy. What do you say? Us joining forces?
You know what you're the perfect yin to the yang. Gentlemen, I don't know if you realize, but there are certain people who do what Matt does and certain people that do what I do. I let my actions speak for me. Matt gets all crazy with all these fireworks and stuff, but eventually those fizzle out. I'm the entire year. He
Come on, man.
is the 4th of July. So
Chin up, baby. Cowboys. Dak Prescott.
okay, you said you want to join forces and become the mega powers. Is that what you said?
You can be my Hulk. You're my big guy. I'm the Macho Man. Yeah. Freak out, freak out, freak out.
You're exhausting, man. My God. It's like I'm playing cards with my sister's kids.
All right, so what else we got for Dak as a
You can make
champ?
it happen.
Dak, man, QB 14 on the year. If we're talking fantasy here, this guy delivers. We've seen this Dallas offense. It's top 5 in passing and rushing. That means we're not one-dimensional. We just got Tyron Smith back. Yeah, we struggled against Kansas City, hit the brakes a little bit, but Atlanta, we put 41 points. You look at Dak's resume, 4 out of 5 years as a QB1. This guy is cooking with Crisco, as they say in the kitchen. I think looking at the rest of our season, Las Vegas, New Orleans, Washington twice, the Giants, these are a lot of bad defenses. You look at the Saints, man, what they've done. They're giving up yards left and right. Washington twice. You can't beat that. Dak, QB1. Wham, bam. Thank you, man.
Oh, and the little at the end to get it to Jay and on the Saints. I love it. All right, it's up to you now. Let's go, Jay. Let's bring it up. Chump for Dak Prescott.
Okay. So here's something you guys are going to notice about Matthew and I. And no, I don't call him Mattdaddy. I don't call another man daddy. As you can see, I'm professional. I have my notes. Matt can go off the cuff. I enjoy that. I think that's very cool, very cute. As you guys just learned today, I was a pro wrestler for about 10 years, and you got a lot of guys who can do that and go off the cuff. I get prepared. So, Dak Prescott, if you will, sporadic play. Okay, he's up 1 week, down the next. Had the most receiver depth in the league, now has none due to injury. Okay, so he's ranked 12th among QBs, and he was drafted as QB 8. His ADP is not worth it. Juice is not worth the squeeze to me, gentlemen. 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 7. So, sorry, man. He is a chump. If you ask me, I don't think anything's going to get better for him. I think it's going to do nothing but get worse because he can't seem to keep anybody on the field, himself included. He could get hurt again. He's not rushing the way he used to.
You're talking to Daddy. Do you take your kid to the doctor if it's got a hiccup?
I'm sorry. Am I finished?
Jay, baby, come on. Talk some sense into you. It's a hiccup.
What's happening right now? Do you guys hear that? It's my turn to speak. It's my microphone.
You do have the floor, sir. You do have the floor.
Turn him down.
Hiccups, baby. Hiccups.
He doesn't rush anymore. He used to be able to rush the ball. He had tons of rushing yards. Doesn't have it anymore. He is not a fantasy quarterback that I am excited at all about. Got him in another league. I'm putting Kirk Cousins in.
Ooh, that's the low blow of low blows. Nick, compelling cases both for round 1. Who do you got?
Whew, they were. Even though Mattdaddy,
you have Eagles back there, man. Come on.
Jay brought the data. Round 1 goes to Jay.
Okay, round 1 to Jay. Oh my goodness. Let's see how we do in round 2. We're gonna start with
like a Hogan pose.
Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, let's go to Jay first this time. Let's make Alvin Kamara a champ.
Where do I start? Let's see. Excuse me, my notes again. Gentlemen, Matthew, you should get prepared. Kamara has been a top 10, top 5 running back in PPR formats, even half point. He's getting a ton of touches now whenever he's in the game. I understand he has an injury as of right now, but he will still finish in the top 3. I guarantee it. Even without Breeze on the team anymore, he is the main focus of the offense. Even if you have a defense that is studying him and getting ready for him, it doesn't matter. They cannot stop Alvin Kamara. They can't. Everybody's seen that clip where Kamara doesn't even look like he's trying whenever he's playing the Green Bay Packers. And they were a decent defense that year. You can't stop him. He is very shifty. He hardly ever falls, breaks at least 3 tackles. You can't touch him. He's the only fantasy option on the Saints team. He's a weekly must start whenever he's playing, even if it's a limited snap count. Now that they got Mark Ingram there, it doesn't matter. Even when teams know he's getting the ball, it makes no difference. This guy is going to finish top 3 in fantasy scoring every week that he plays.
All right, bring in the notes. I can see you're going right back to the notes. I can appreciate that. All right, Mattdaddy, you're up. You've got the envious position of calling him a chump.
I think it all boils down to health. We're looking at the Saints. They're 5-5. This guy's got a knee injury. He's not even practicing yet, not even on the field. We have offensive linemen banged up. I think this is a cause for concern with this team. We've seen Simeon. We don't know what we have at quarterback. Why rush your guy who's making all this money for the Saints? Yeah, he's a champ on the field when he's on the field, but he's not. So as you're looking at week 11, 12 of the season's kind of winding down, 5-5. You got Tampa Bay in the same division, Carolina with Cam. I don't think Kamara's a guy you're going to risk your franchise player to come back from injury just to get re-injured. Like I said, no practice. Practice makes perfect. He ain't practicing.
Nick, good arguments for you had your time, Jay. You had your time. Sorry, bro. Nick, it's round 2. Who you got for round 2?
You know what? I like Mattdaddy on this one. I like the fact that he's got a tough schedule coming down the last few games here, and it's going to be tight. And if they're out of it, they're going to sit him. So I'm going to go Mattdaddy.
I understand we have to be even, so it'll make it a little bit more.
Buffalo, Tampa Bay, those aren't easy run defense.
Listen, Jay, you're not supposed to ruin the show magic, okay? Listen, this is my show. We don't ruin show magic here, okay? Let's go.
Baby.
Vince McMahon.
You're fired. We're going to round 3. Excuse me. We're champs for chumps. CD Lamb, Mattdaddy makes CD a champ.
Commish, that's some good shit. Love it. Let's keep it up, pal. Let's talk CD Lamb. What are we hating on these Cowboys for? They're putting the proof in the pudding. Thanksgiving's on Thursday. Have some pudding. CD Lamb, wide receiver 14 on the year. This is a high-powered offense, ladies and gentlemen. This guy gets the targets. He gets the catches. This is an unbelievable player. Like I said, wide receiver 14, and we're literally calling him a chump. That's a wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 weeks. Granted, he's on the injury scare this week with the concussion. Hey, everybody's taking a chair shot and came back from it. CD Lamb's going to do the same damn thing, regardless of what the top hat. Jay, God bless America.
Jay, what you got for CD Lamb? Bring it.
I mean, I didn't realize that we had CD Lamb. I'm sorry. I thought I was doing Darren Waller. Forgive me. So
that's all right. We do have Darren Waller. That's the next round.
All good. I don't even need notes for CD Lamb. He needs to be on the field. It's that simple. And then whenever you have a guy like Dak Prescott, who does not seem to have any idea how to pass the ball lately, because defenses keep getting to him. Defenses keep stopping him. I mean, when you look at the way that the Cowboys have lost, it reminds me of the Falcons. So it's not like they just lose, they get stomped. And regardless of CD Lamb being on the field or not, they still seem to lose. He's also hurt, and you have Amari Cooper whenever he's playing. You've got Gallup, you've got Wilson, you've got Zeke, kind of. You've got Pollard. There's so many pieces to that offense that, I mean, it's really hard to get it to one guy. That being said, CeeDee Lamb is one of the top talents in the league. Did I draft him in any? No. Just because of that. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here. He's a chump in my eyes. Anybody on the Dallas Cowboys offense right now, I'm not touching, which is the weirdest thing to possibly say, because before the season started, I thought there was going to be too much. Now it just doesn't seem like there's enough.
So I just want to point out, Jay went on a whole monologue earlier about how he doesn't go off the cuff like Mattdaddy, but right there you did it, brother, and did a great job. I will just point out. Good job, bro. Nick.
Well, thanks. Now I will say I'm not as good as I'll give Matt. I'm not calling him Mattdaddy. I'll give Matthew his props. He is one of the best off the cuff I've seen. Guy can definitely cut a promo.
Indeed. Next time we're going to have to play one because it was super funny. All right, Nick, who you got for round 3?
Well, off the cuff or not, I like data. Jay, you brought none. Matty, you brought it. So I am going to go with Matty for round 3.
Well,
cool. I didn't understand the assignment.
You sound like my students.
Killing me softly with his song, indeed. All right, let's go to round 4. Now we're getting somewhere for Jay. Darren Waller. Darren Waller, my friend, you're up first. I know he's your boy, and I apologize. I didn't know that prior to, but please make your boy a chump.
This should be fun.
It's kind of messed up you're making me do this. But if I have to say he's a chump for the show, Derek Carr. Those should be the only 2 words I have to say. But week 1, Waller was targeted 19 times. That is fantastic. He had one hell of a game. He was killing it. We were sitting there cheering on our boy. My wife thinks of him as family. He's been to our house multiple times. Phenomenal individual. Love the guy. His story is unbelievable. If you haven't seen it or heard it, it's incredible. He does catch passes from Derek Carr. Old eyeliner himself. That is his only double-digit target game, except for 1 week he got 11 targets. But he caught 7 of those, which is not that's not what Darren does. You put the ball anywhere around him, he usually catches it. I don't know what's going on with Carr. I don't know if it's the offensive line, if they're getting to him or whatever, but he's overshooting everybody. Everyone. He's getting overshot, undershot, totally missed the mark, passing to his top receiver. And Derek Carr, what I just looked up here, if you'll indulge me for just a second, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. As far as I'm concerned, Darren is a top-notch human being. It kills me to call him a chump, but because of his quarterback. Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
Mr. Waller, despite what your friend Jay thinks of you, we like you. So whenever you want to come on our show or come on my house, bro, it's cool, bro. I got you.
Damn.
Maddie, Daddy, let's perk Mr. Waller up. Let's make him a champ.
Come on, Darren. Get back up. Dust yourself off and try again, as Jay would say. Let's keep it going because Waller has done his job as a tight end. We talk about a position that is so empty. It's bare. If you're playing fantasy football, if you're watching the NFL, there's 3 or 4, maybe 5 good ones in the NFL. He is still ranked 3rd in fantasy. And as much as I brag on my Cowboys are bottom 10 against the tight end position. That's a position you should be able to attack. If you're Oakland, you're going to feed your beast. You're going to feed your stud. This is a guy, if you're Derek Carr and you're struggling, that's when you buckle down and you depend on the other guys, stars on your team to get the job done. So to me, Waller, he's still a baller. Tight end position, as old Jay's mom would say, give me a hell yeah. And that's the bottom line because Jay's mom, Mattdaddy's dad said so.
Woo! Indeed. Wow. All right. Waller is a baller. What do you think, Nick, for round 4?
Well, you put Jay in a very precarious position. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
I'm a little pain for this, man. This is not fun.
I wouldn't be surprised if Waller's going to be pounding on his door in the next 10 minutes.
He's not listening.
Yeah, you never know. So I like Darren Waller, but Jay, you finally brought the data. You brought data. The data was good. It was better than Mattdaddy's. Matty was all hard. You were data. I'm going with data. Jay, you get round 4.
Well, it's crazy as
that
it's
being said, I don't think he's a chump. I love him. Oh my God,
yeah. He said, let me get this
I
out of the way real
was
quick.
actually at the Raiders game against the Eagles where he went out like 2 hours before the game.
Jay, Darren Waller, just so we're clear, Jay loves you, bro. It's all good. We're just having fun with you. All right, so let's get to round 5. Crazy enough, I don't know how this always happens. We always get to round 5. It's just crazy how that ends up happening. So I put you both in good positions now. Got your teams. I want to hear your defense case for them to be champs by the end of the year. Mattdaddy, we'll start with you.
Man, as much as I like talking about Jay, I like talking about my Cowboys more. Like my mom says on Saturday night, Yahtzee. That's what you get with the Cowboys. This is a team to look out for. Like we said, we're talking all this crap about Carr. Las Vegas up next. Give it to me, baby. Trevor Siemian against New Orleans. Who? Then we get Washington, Heineke, Danny Dimes, man. 5 matchups in a row that you can exploit. You look at what we've done on defense. 21 sacks, 15 picks, only 17 points per game. NFL is a scoring league. 17 points per game. If that's all you're giving up, you're going to get the job done. That's why we're 7-3. Like I said, proof is in the pudding. As I started it off, Jay, I'm going back to you in the top hat. Yeah. Cowboys are on 1. Yeah.
All right, this is it. Got to bring it home, Jay. You brought a strong argument. Now let's see if you can bring it home for round 5. Let's hear about the Saints as a champ.
Okay. So, as a fan, let's talk about that here in just a second. This is kind of a tough one. I love the Saints, even when they're not doing well. Right
I
now,
love the Cowboys.
Right now, God damn it, Matt. Right now, they're not doing so hot. Yes, they're trying to figure out what they need to do in order to win. And I tie back to Alvin Kamara. He will continue to play because Sean Payton is Sean Payton, and he wants to win. See, the thing is about the New Orleans Saints, gentlemen, is that as a fan, since I was a kid, it had, to me, everybody gets upset if you have a winning and, or like a losing record. Okay. Since I was a kid, I've been around a losing record. So I've learned to take that on the chin, just like every Saints fan that you ever come across. That is why we are champions. It's our fans. We love our team no matter what. I've lived in Texas, in Austin, Texas, and have met many a Dallas Cowboy fan who was ready to hang, I don't know, a young man by the name of Tony Romo when he'd have just a bad game. They would shit all over that team and be ready to hang it up. Just like for the University of Texas Longhorns. Fuck them if they're not winning. Excuse my language. That's the way that they treat their team. The Saints, when we're losing, what do? We have a little bit of fun with it. We wear the paper bags, but we still show up and we still love our quote-unquote sad sack Saints. Now, if anybody is going to be able to teach any of the quarterbacks that touch the turf in our beloved dome, it's Sean Payton. He's turned Trevor Siemian into a winning quarterback, a quarterback that wasn't shit before. He turned Jameis Winston into somebody who people started looking at like, you know what? This guy can really do it. Like when he first got drafted, after he, ran out with all those crab legs and everything, the 30 for 30 man, people started to believe again. That's what this team is about. That's the New Orleans Saints. Saints help you believe. Saints build you up. Saints make you feel good about yourself. Saints teach you how to love unconditionally. The Cowboys do no such thing. Cowboys fans don't have any idea how to love.
Jay,
because they're Cowboys. I'm not done, Matt.
Come on, baby. You got
I'm not done. You had your time. You could have rambled on. You could have filibustered.
I love to ramble.
Cowboys fans are just like Cowboys. They come into town, they wrangle up some steeds and whatnot, and then they bail. If that town doesn't have shit for them, they take off. Saints fans, we're there forever. We bleed black and gold.
Wow. So that I'm ready to run out the locker room, hit the believe sign from Ted Lasso. I mean, you got me rolling. I'm ready to rumble. Listen, this is tough, man. You guys both brought some great arguments tonight, bringing the rings to the table.
Don't throw out all the rings that the Cowboys have, Matt. I understand. I get
it. So this makes this really tough tonight. It's like, do I get myself put into a headlock or do I piss off the guy who knows all the important people? I just don't know. So it's one of those things. What do I do here? Well, I'd rather not deal with the headlock. So Mattdaddy, you're tonight's winner. Jay, my friend, just for a quick second, please.
Hey man, just want to let you know that sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta shut the fuck up. And this current time is just one of those times you gotta shut the fuck up. I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. You gotta shut the fuck up.
And of course, a very special award of the week for you, sir. I made a very special Dumbass of the Week award.
Dumbass. Thank these. Dumbass. Black
All right, full disclosure. Usually we flip a coin, but for some reason your head was the only one I could get in the cartoon, so we just rolled with it. So the winner tonight, Mattdaddy. Both of you guys get screen time, of course, but we'll start with Mattdaddy first. Let all of our listeners know where they can find you and all your great content.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you all for having us. Speaking for myself, a little bit of Jay. Jay's the ultimate competitor. He's a grinder. I've been trying to get him part of the Cowboys crew, Mega Powers, for a while. He keeps pushing me off. One day I'll get at him and he'll join forces. But Commish, Flanders, Doctor, I love what y'all are doing. It's entertainment. I think that's what people forget. We can hear, stats. We can talk Cowboys all day. But if we're not having fun, then why do it? And you guys are having fun. But for me, dude, I love wrestling. I love football. It's my passion. So I decided to start my own thing. Mattdaddy Presents. You want some sports talk, check out my YouTube channel, Fantasy Football Network, Gridiron Rating, some other places. But, dude, I'm just living the dream, just like you guys. And appreciate y'all for having me. Jay, one day we'll join forces, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring you guys together somehow. Hey, if I gotta play my Vince role some point, I'll bring the tag team together at some point. Jay, I know I played some great videos for you, but even though you're the loser, still get your plug time. Let all of our fans know where we can find you and all your great content.
Man, just like Matt was saying, thank y'all so much for having me. This is a blast, even though I just got completely humiliated via cartoon and TikTok song. Anyway, Matt knows how I feel about TikTok. But so, just like Matt, man, I mean, my hat's off to you, literally, buddy. Like, well done, Matt. I got nothing but love for you, man. I know we have a lot of fun with all this joking around, but I've got all the love in the world for you. He is a huge competitor. We're having a blast with all this, breaking kayfabe a little bit. But, guys, thank y'all so much for having me. If y'all go to the Fantasy Football Network, you'll see interviews. I'm running the Pace League with Justin from Clock Management. That's a charity fantasy football league that we have with some guys like Darren Waller, Danny Woodhead, Adam Rank, Michael F. Florio, a bunch of the guys, like all the guys from NFL Network, Marcus Grant, and some of the other guys in the industry. We T-Pain's in it, my boy T-Pain. Been a lot of fun. We're going to be opening up a couple spots next year. I know we've got Waller, who agreed to be in it. I think Eckler's going to be in it next season as well. Trent Sig, a bunch of guys hoping we get Maddie in there as well. But then you can go to Instagram, look up Plugged In with Jay on Twitter. I can't remember. I think it's Fantasy Plug 1. You'll see me. It's this.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, on the Fantasy Football Network, man. If y'all check it out, it's awesome. They got tons of content on there. Matt's show is phenomenal. I sat through it. It's a lot of fun to watch, man. Y'all definitely got to check it out. But yeah, if y'all go over there and check out any of the new interviews that I've got Willie McGinnis coming up. I've got some Pac-Man Jones is going to be coming up. Deontay Burton, he's one of the Cowboys safeties. Matt, talked to him about being on with you. And so, he's a good guy, nice guy. Doesn't make me like the Cowboys. I like him as a person. So, but no, guys, I appreciate this. This was a blast. I had a lot of fun.
No, I appreciate you guys being on here. You guys are great, great guests, great fun. And for all of those watching and listening to please take some time to listen to their show. I know I'm busy. I got kids, so it's hard for me to watch all this stuff, but I took some time and I was definitely entertained, as Mattdaddy mentioned earlier. That's what we want. We want to be entertained, and we do appreciate you guys. Hope to have you on again, and we'll talk about some future stuff maybe in the future, because I love having fun doing fun stuff like this. So appreciate you guys. We're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to talk about all the shit we got wrong last week. Appreciate you guys again, man.
Absolutely, fellas. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it.
Appreciate you.
Man, Commish, must be hard trying to get us clowns to come together for the show.
Yeah, especially keeping us motivated during the Jeffter snack breaks.
It's almost like we need a counselor or someone to at least consult us, because we don't know what we're doing.
Luckily for us, we signed the best coach in the business, Vision Coach and Consulting.
They have led the way for business professionals for over 20 years.
Yeah, you know what? They offer business coaching, life coaching, and consultant services that can put you back on your track for your personal goals.
You don't say, Nick. You know what? Check them out today at coachingandleading.org or on Facebook or Twitter at their handle, Coach Lead Win.
Vision, coaching, and consulting, because every champion has a coach.
All right, yeah, that was an amazing Champs or Chumps. Can't wait for next week. I got some really fun guests for that as well, so I'm just going to keep it quiet. We'll talk about that later because I don't have anybody yet. I got to book it. All right, let's talk about all the things we got wrong last week.
Told you so dumb, baby, you're so dumb. I can tell right now, you ain't no good for me. When I think.
All right, here's our stardom and situms. And, I did great with Cam, but other than that, if you like single digits, ladies, I was your guy because, man, was I single indeed. I mean, just Montgomery with 5. Luckily, Landry got a handoff, or I got nothing. Gesicki didn't show up. Dolphins D was okay. My situms were kind of okay on point. Except Deontay Johnson got 16. So other than that, though, not so good on my end. Nick, let's talk about your stardom and situms.
Well, my stardom quarterback was Josh Allen, and he did not do well at all. He got, what did he get, 19?
19, you got it, yes, sir.
Okay, he did okay.
He did okay, it wasn't bad.
James Conner, 15, not bad. Devontae Smith, huge disappointment. I thought he was going to fall out against the Saints. Dawson Knox, had a stinker, 8. And then Panthers, I thought they would shut down the football team, but they ended up coming in at a 7. So that was not so good, my friends.
Yeah, they were a surprise this week for me. I thought they would also. Washington played very well, not for nothing. So pretty decent day for the Washington offense. Something to know going forward. All right, what about your situms?
Oh, my situms, they weren't too terrible. Carson Wentz, I sat. He got 11 because Jonathan Taylor just had a field day, so he didn't have to do anything at all. Darren Williams got 2. Okay, so I was correct on that one. Terry McLaurin did a lot more than I thought. He got a 16. Mo Ali Cox, I don't even think he got off the bus. He got a 0. And I knew the Steelers weren't going to do well last week. And Mr. Eckler had a big hand in that. And the Steelers got a 4.
Yeah, Mo Ali Cox, like we talked about, he's been on the downturn, since I don't know what week that was, but it's just been all of a sudden, we can't really, he's lost in that offense. Let's talk real quick. They're not here, so we won't talk too much about it, but the juice this week, bro, the situms, this week, you could probably put on anyone's team. They would have won. Josh Allen, 19. Let's talk about Austin Eckler. I don't even know why.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Austin Eckler.
Why do you have Austin Eckler as a situm? I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know all the injuries on Pittsburgh's defense. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know what he was thinking, but it was kind of, I don't know. But anyway, then he puts Michael Pittman, which I got. The Bills D, you never knew. Right. It was kind of up or down. But Zach Ertz, 20, and Ravens D. I was surprised he did that too because honestly, the Ravens have been playing kind of hot lately, and they were, the matchup really. I think it was Chicago. So hello, that you want if there's a team to start for him, that's the guy you start against. So the Jester stardoms this week not so good. Pat Mahomes with 7, Freeman 13, Jalen Waddle 12, Dawson Knox 8. He kind of went with you on that. Titans 8. His situm got Justin Fields with 3, got hurt. Kenny Galladay with 1. Joe Mixon, though, had a good game with 24. Kyle Pitts at 2. And Colts D with 13. But this week, for stardom and situms, Greg, you earned it for sure, bro.
Dumbass. Thank these. They call me dumbass. Black kite entertainment. Stupid.
And let's see about our other. Let's bring up our ultimate team because this
Do we
week.
have to?
I think you kind of know what's coming on the ultimate team because
Yeah, I had an idea.
not so good for Mr. Flanders. But let's talk about our winner this week, the Jester. It's the first time Fred's won the ultimate team contest, so congrats. Normally, he kind of just goes with the same roster. He did mix it up a little bit this week. Although the Pat Mahomes constant star did hurt him, he had Jonathan Taylor. Like, listen, if you went with Jonathan Taylor on the ultimate team, you're definitely looking good with 49 points this week. He went off. Najee Harris had a decent game against the Lions with 11. We kind of knew that was going to happen. Chris Godwin with 12. Devontae Adams, 23. Zeke with 6. Kelsey with 13. Boswell, 13. And Titans, 8. So he is our winner this week. Congratulations, Freddie. 142. So great job. Let's talk about our outlier, our Flander, who flandered this week. Dak Prescott. 2 points. 2. And I don't know who D. Johnson is, so I wasn't really sure who you were talking about.
I remember who it was, and then I'll add some humility to the show. This was before I knew Mr. Chubb was coming back, so I actually picked Ernest Johnson. And then I played off like, oh yeah, David Montgomery. That's what I meant to put. Yeah.
That's okay. I couldn't remember.
So,
I remember we talked about it, and then I couldn't remember. So I was like, I just picked it.
So
all right, well, that's fair. He still didn't do shit. All right, so
Najee he didn't do that.
Najee Harris with 11, Stephon Diggs 14, Devontae Adams 23. He had a good game. Devonta Smith, who you aforementioned, he put him in your flex 6. Kelsey 13, Folk 13, 49ers. They still had a good game with 17 points. So good call there. But 99. So
technically, I broke 100 because either if it was Dearest Johnson. Or Montgomery, I would have broken 100. But I'll defend myself. That's fine.
That was like the cue. That was like when the back in the day when the comedian was on stage and they bring the big cane out. That was you. All right.
Or at the music awards whenever they play the music in the background. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, let's play it out. Let's get a few minutes. Let's talk about the waiver wire. All right, so kind of dry pickings on the waiver wire this week, but I will say Cam Newton, I would definitely pick him up. He was my stardom last week. I would have picked him up last week. I would definitely put him in. I'm not sure the schedule, though. It doesn't really play out for him, but still a guy to pick up. And I will say I wouldn't start him this week. I know Miami's, everyone looks at Miami's D like, oh, but they're hot lately. And look, if you don't think they're going to do exactly what they did against Lamar to Cam, you crazy. So I definitely would not start him, but I definitely would pick him up. Ty Johnson, Tevin Coleman. We mentioned earlier the injury to Michael Carter. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, if you see Alan Lazard's still out, he had a big game, so he's somebody to mention. Bears D, I believe they're playing the Lions, if that's correct, on Thanksgiving, so good defense to stream this week. They played pretty decent last week against Mr. Huntley from the Ravens, so definitely somebody to stream this week. Also, we talked about, again, if you don't have Michael Gallup, if somebody doesn't have Michael Gallup, again, invite me to that league, but somebody to pick up, or Cedric Wilson, somebody's got to catch a ball. Dalton Schultz obviously is going to have a big uptick this week, but with the injury to Amari Cooper and to CeeDee Lamb, again, he's going to have to throw to somebody. Nick, give me somebody on the waiver wire you're making a big priority this week.
Well, offensively, there's really not a whole heck of a lot. But going forward, and this is a homer pick, and I don't care what you say, I'm going to go with Philadelphia as far as their defense because last week they scored 17. This is their schedule coming up. They go through the Giants, the Jets, the Washington football team, and Dallas going forward. So that's probably about the easiest schedule you could possibly have going for the regular season and then in the playoffs. So, and then the other defense, I'm going to say is going to be Dallas. Believe it or not, they got the Raiders, they got the Saints, they play the football team, the Giants, Arizona, and Philly. So if you're in a pinch for defenses, and plus that Dallas does pick up picks and sacks, and they do get turnovers. But I would say Philly would be your number one bet because they're playing a lot better, and they got some really weak teams coming up. So I would pick them up as far as your defenses. And if you need a tight end and you don't have Conklin, dude, he finds the end zone. He's got 4 touchdowns. And he's got 52 targets this year, so that's a lot for a tight end. And then his next 3 games, he plays Detroit, Chicago, and Green Bay. So might want to give him a sniff.
Give him a sniff, indeed. Boy, it smells good. Okay, so I messed up the order because we're supposed to talk about your flops next.
That's
but
okay.
We'll talk about it now before we head out. Let's talk about last week's Phlander Phlops.
Gucci flip flops, make a kick rock. This a big clock. Check the wrist watch. Gucci flip flops, fuck you, hit your bitch and massage. This a big.
Nick, who you got for your Phlander Floppies this week?
Well, I got Matty Ice, just got melted. Dude, he came in at number 29 this week. He in PPR, everything going forward is going to be PPR because that's the most popular one. He did play the Patriots. Now, they give up 12.4 points, which is number 2 ranked against quarterbacks. But, man, I mean, he got benched. He scored you 4 points. He was 19 to 28 for 153 yards, 0 TDs, and 2 picks. That is just not going to cut it, my friends.
Are you saying Matty Ice was a cold-ass honky?
No, I'm just saying Matty Ice sucked. I'm not saying he was a cold-ass nothing.
All right, who else you got on your floppers?
Matty Ice got flambéed. So I did want to talk about Damian Harris because I originally put in Josh Jacobs. No problem. I got it. Josh Jacobs actually scored you 11 points this week in PPR. He only had 10 carries. So my thing with Josh Jacobs is this. If it's a positive game script, he's going to do well for you. If it's negative, he doesn't see the ball. I mean, like, hardly anything. But I did bring up Damian Harris. I thought he'd do a lot better against Atlanta. He was your number 27 ranked running back this week. He had 10 attempts for 56 yards against the Atlanta defense that's 29th against the run. So he should have had a lot more points, and they give up an average of 28 points to running backs. Moving on to wide receiver, I'm going to steal this from a show that I listened to earlier. DK Metcalf. He came in at number 54 this week against Arizona. He got you 3.1 points. 3.1. Cooper can do that. And now I'm not even talking about Amari. I'm talking about Jason. So he was 4 of 8 for 31 yards. All right. Not good. And then my tight end, again, I'm going back to Atlanta, and I know he's a rookie, but he's the number 1 option out there. Kyle Pitts, man. He was 3 of 5 for 29 yards for 5.9 points. I know that New England is number 1 against the tight end, but he should have gotten a lot better than 6 points. My flex through there was Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks came in at number 75. He had 3 targets for 2 catches for 17 yards against Tennessee. Really? Tennessee. Come on. And then lastly, I gotta bring it. The Saints. They give up 40 points to the Eagles. They give up 3 rushing touchdowns. Okay. The whole season, before Sunday's game, they only give up 9. So they give up a third of their touchdowns in one game. They gave up one pick 6 for 51 yards to Big Play Slay. They give up 242 yards rushing. 3 runs were 25, 24, and 18 to Misters Hurts, Mr. Howard, and Mr. Sanders. Not necessarily in that order. Hurts had the 25-yarder. And they gave up 147 yards receiving. So the Saints were the big flop of the week. And I hate to say it because my brother-in-law is a huge Saints fan. But sorry, Steve, they suck.
To be fair, you told me the Panthers. I just want to know
Did I really?
You did. That's all right. We're good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're
You're
good.
the dumbass.
We're good. Nah, you're good. I just thought it was funny as you were reading. I'm looking at the ticker like, Saints. All right. Hey, folks, listen, we appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun tonight. Appreciate our special guests for Champs or Chumps, Mattdaddy and Jay. They had, they really made it a fun night for us tonight. Don't forget, we're going to wake up with us on Thanksgiving. We're going to have a special Thanksgiving episode. We're going to have a fun fantasy family feud, but it's actually going to be more Thanksgiving based. So that's going to be fun. Maybe a special guest or two. Lots of fun. We'll break down all of the Thanksgiving games. Didn't want to bring that up tonight because that'll be lots of fun. And we didn't bring up last night because last night was pretty much last night. It was an ass whooping of epic proportions like we thought it was going to be. All right, guys. So we appreciate you. Don't forget, check us out, tssfantasy.com. I'll have all the rankings up. And again, don't forget, Thanksgiving Day special. Don't worry, I'll be plugging it all day tomorrow, so you'll be ready indeed. We appreciate you, and we are out.
We're on a mission, guys.